Hey guys, xin chào các bạn. My name is James and welcome to another video. If you watched my last video, then you know that today's video is going to be part 2 of our two-part series on Vietnamese bands and groups over the last several decades. In my last video, we talked about the rise of rock bands and musical groups during the 60s and 70s, and as we moved into the 80s when the Vietnamese community was growing stronger and stronger overseas, we had more bands emerging that followed current popular trends of the time, including new wave. In today's video, we'll be talking about Vietnamese bands and groups from the 1990s to the present day. Moving into the 1990s, we see a greater shift away from the more typical bands, that is to say, bands where most of the members play their own musical instruments and you have maybe one, maybe two lead singers. In this decade, we see more of a focus on girl groups or boy bands, which when we say those terms, we're referring to groups of singers where most or all members sing, usually without playing their own instruments and usually with their own choreography or dancing, as well as an added emphasis on visual beauty and aesthetic. One group that we saw emerge in the 1990s that wasn't really an official group because they didn't have an official name, but they performed very often together on videos for Asia Entertainment. This group that I'm referring to is none other than Nini, Vina Unmi, and Hạ Vi, a trio of young, beautiful faces with soft voices reminiscent of some of the French pop singers of the time. Audiences and fans may most closely associate this group with their pop interpretation of a very, very old Vietnamese song called Giọt Mưa Thu. Over at May Productions, there was another girl group that emerged, known as Ngũ Long Công Chúa. The original lineup of this group consisted of members Linda Trang Dai, Ngọc Anh, Giang Ngọc, Zaza Minh Thảo, and Thuy Vi, many of whom are still very active in the entertainment industry today. You may know Linda Trang Dai as having a very, very successful solo career before this group and after this group. And members Thuy Vi and Giang Ngọc have enjoyed very successful careers as TV personalities and hosts. Occasionally, singers such as Hương Thơ, Tú Quyên, and Yên Mai would take the place of other members in the group, but audiences will most closely associate this group with their original lineup.
Và bây giờ, ngày buồn đã qua, nhiều lúc lần cũng được thứ tha. Tình yêu đã đến trong ánh nắng mai, xóa tan màn đêm u tối, cho tôi biến đổi tâm hồn thành một người mới. Và con tim đã vui trở lại, tình yêu đến cho tôi ngày mai, tình yêu chiếu ánh sáng vào đời, tôi hy vọng được ơn tiếp rồi.
As we move into the early 2000s, American boy bands such as the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC dominated the music industry, and Vietnamese companies at the time also sought to create similar groups using the current trends of pop and dance. During this time, Asia Entertainment would produce a number of groups, most notably Asia 4, a 4-member boy band which also included singer Cardin, who would go on to have a very successful solo career.
Will you still need me if you find your dream? Set you free when I'm away from you. Will you miss me? Just tell me, will you stay?
Other groups to come out of Asia Entertainment included Heart to Exist, which helped introduce rap and hip-hop to overseas Vietnamese audiences, and pop duo Purity, which helped launch the careers of Thuy Hương and Anh Minh, who has enjoyed a very successful solo career.
Baby, I would give you everything to have you by my side. Baby, I would give you all my love to share my life with you. Baby, I would give you all my heart, I promise I'll be true. Baby, I would give you all my soul for all eternity.
aside from being known for catchy songs and exciting choreography, all of these groups were also known for writing their own music. And in Vietnam, many girl groups and boy bands were emerging and helped to serve as the launching point for many successful solo artists that we would know today from Paris by Night or Asia Entertainment or SBTN, such as the group 3A or 3A, which helped launch the career of Ngọc Anh, AC&M, which was an a cappella boy band that helped launch the career of Đình Bảo, as well as the boy band MTV, which helped launch the career of Đoàn Phi. Moving into the period that we're in right now, the current state of Vietnamese bands and groups is vastly different overseas compared to in Vietnam. Overseas, the focus is almost solely on solo singers. While group performances are still very common in shows such as Paris by Night, there are no quote-unquote official groups with a set lineup of members. On the other hand, in Vietnam, groups continue to thrive. With the global phenomenon of K-pop and idol groups, the music industry in Vietnam also finds inspiration, producing more and more groups including 365 or 365, Monstar, and more recently SGO48 and Diverse, the latter of which is actually produced by the same company behind K-pop group Mamamoo. As in South Korea and K-pop, these Vietnamese groups also have a high attention to intricate choreography, well-produced music, vibrant visuals, and unique fashion. As you can see in all of these bands and groups that have emerged since the 1960s, Vietnamese music has always been a wonderful blend of the old and the new, and it is only natural that as time passes, Vietnamese music will also continue to grow and change. And it's this constant evolution of music that has gifted us with all of these great bands and groups, many of which are now permanent fixtures in Vietnamese music history. As we move forward into the 2020s, there will be more and more developments, more innovative ideas based on new global trends, and that can only mean even more history in the making. Even though this is a very condensed history and there are so many more bands and groups that I haven't been able to mention, hopefully this can serve as a starting off point if you're interested in exploring more Vietnamese music. And if you are interested in exploring some more, then you can visit the links down below. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more videos. See you next time, bye!